Again, I'm still here on the project, building capacity around my mouth, but I got something to back it up. What do you think? Let's discuss it. This is Samson Toll, Liberian Public Radio. But I want to bring your attention to a show that I'm going to be having tonight. It's going to be very interesting. I'm encouraging all of you, those of you that are listening to this video, to tune in tonight, because perhaps this might be some of the reason why we have all of the mess that is going on in our own country. Because you have to listen to these things. These things, the trouble we've been having in Liberia didn't start overnight. These are things that's been happening from time to time. There are those who came before us, past generation, failed to recognize these things, and will continue to repeat them. And because we ourselves have not yet able to recognize and see if these things can be rectified, so that this country, beautiful country of ours, can be built just by our hands as Liberians. Doesn't matter who you are at this point. Concord country, it doesn't even exist anymore. We're all one another. We're all one country, one people. But if we do not understand why these things are happening to us, we're most likely not going to be able to find solution. So I ask you tonight to join me.
Yet, how does one begin to help people who swim on their own flooded streets to voting booths to vote incompetent criminals back into office?
Yes, that is a big question we all have to answer. How do you help people who will go to the voting booth swimming in their own flooded streets just to vote people in offices who are incompetent? And those incompetent people that are being voted in offices will also appoint people who are also incompetent. So this is like a big deal. How do we help our brothers and sisters to make sure that their voting rights are utilized effectively? They have the voting cards. They must be told how important their voting cards are to all of us. And so I'm saying those of us that have this platform, this is not time for hate. You don't come into this because you hate. You must do all you can to educate the voters themselves, how important their voting cards are. Because if their vote our leaders being able to do what is right for our people. Join me this evening as I try to explore this particular question and many more that will be coming. Join me this evening at 8 Eastern Time, 5 Pacific, where we will take on this question and be able to see how much we can go. With your help, we, the Liberian people, will be able to educate our brothers and sisters that have the right to vote whoever they want, but they must do so with responsibility. This is Samson Toll, Liberian Public Radio. Thank you very much.
C'est autiste-moi, encore une autre fidèle qui l'Amérique a pas loupé yo. Quand il reste Sylvie, il a quoi qui j'ai loupé presse. L'Amérique a pas loupé, t'as mon bien de moi avec moi, nous deux. En somme, on va battre au moins, néo. Mon temps dit, t'as mon mounier, on s'est battu pour moi, il pleure. Avec la loupé yo.
Doing anything that people get to amend it. And with me from 2005 to date, we're all doing anything. I've done something. Trust me. I'll be re-elected. You understand? So you don't need to fight. You don't need to destroy your country. You don't need to even condemn your country. You have to be inspired, peacefully, and then convince the people, persuade people. Politics is about persuasion. And it's about what you have done for your people. I have done so much that I don't need pay for. You know why I don't need pay for? Because Liberians love me and they promoted me when I was on a soccer page. You understand? And they were proud to be Liberian when I was on the soccer page. And I've done my best for my country. I'm a former peace ambassador. It doesn't matter what people say. I'm on record.
Yao, abela lokeyo, mivito jobai, mivito nomba, matisi mopeyo. Manager Gigi, ouais t'es jamais forcé ou si tu connais, tu connais. L'animateur Choco Noscan Yassin de Toyebi, l'homme a tout fait pour mivito. Aniche les deux.
Henry, I can tell you the problem of this country with respect to prices, with respect to health, with respect to education, and largely tied to roads. There are no roads. You don't see opportunities where they should be when you don't have roads. From up to 173 years, we only have one road. How do you know what is happening in Bapolu when you don't have road? You don't go there. The prices of goods, commodities on the market are high because to get them to where they are needed. So there's no way you can, when I talk about road, I'm not talking about putting road on the sidewalk in Monrovia, $50,000 road and make it $3 million. We're talking about roads that will open up the country. We're talking about roads that will open up opportunities, roads that will get businesses going, and dependency reduced because people believe their goods and commodities can get to the market. That's what we're talking about.
But we will prosecute and will confiscate assets that people steal and acquire by illicit means. I often say that in Liberia, when people get caught, they send their wife, they send their children, they send their relatives, whatever, to come and beg. I'm saying the Liberian people, don't come and beg. You know, don't come and tell me, oh, stand to help you get elected. He talked nice about you on the radio station. Now he's stealing, so forgive him. Stanley should have known when he was stealing that we're going to punish him. So there's going to be consequences. That's the first thing. Then we have to make sure we're paying people a living wage. So we did the arithmetic, we did the math in 2017 that when you look at policeman's salary or healthcare worker's salary or teacher's salary, by the middle of the month, the money finished. By the time they pay rent, they buy food, they pay the children tuition, and of course, they're not going to starve, right? So the policeman will pull you over, the teacher will accept bribe, they change grades.
Good evening, folks. Samson to LeBron Public Radio. I want to thank all of you again for coming in, tuning in to us on LeBron Public Radio. Election is about at hand, and we're doing our best here as well to have these conversations about what is happening in Liberia. Thank you. Safety. Lord Jesus, we want to thank you again for your protection, for all that you've done for us and continue to do for us. My Lord, we ask you to continue to protect us. We ask you to continue to provide the opportunities that you continue to provide for all of us. Because of that opportunity, my Lord, we are able to feed two tables, one here in the diaspora and the other table back home. Our brothers and sisters, mother, fathers, auntie, send money regularly because of the opportunities you give us. Only you, my Lord, only you that have the ability to do what you're doing. Can you imagine if men were in charge of our lives, of the blessing? What a disaster. But with you, everything is even. Thank you. Because of you, we're here. Thank you. Because of you, we will be here again tomorrow. Thank you. My Lord, you're just a wonderful, wonderful God. Thank you. My Lord, Liberia, we put Liberia in your hands. The Republic of Liberia is about ready to go to election. We put Liberia in your hand. We put the leadership of Liberia in your hands. We put the opposition leadership of Liberia in your hands. We ask you, my Lord, to protect us. Guide the system. Open the eyes of the politicians to know that election is about ideas. It is not a war. Give them wisdom to do what is good for our people. Open your eyes. Open your minds. And those of us that are engaged, my Lord, as we come here to talk, guide our tongues. Guide our minds. Guide what comes out of our mouth about our own brothers and sisters. That we are not perceived as being jealous. We ask you to give us wisdom as well. Please help us out. You are the greatest. We ask you to bless the Republic of Liberia, and we ask you, my Lord, to bless the host country on a whole freedom, protection, that we enjoy so much freedom today. And because of that, this country has provided also opportunity that you made it so possible for us to continue to work as foreigners. And God, we ask you to bless the United States of America. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Folks, good evening. Good evening, Samson to LeBron Public Radio.
The election is there. I'm not too sure if they are declared yet, but my, it is rocking. The video from CDC gathering is frightening. I will be honest with you. It's frightening. Those of us that are hoping to have President Weah be defeated, the video, the crowd is frightening. And I'm not going to hide it. But yes, the comfort for that. As far as I'm concerned, this is the solace that I take out of it. We saw these same people, the same type of crowd, 2020. And we saw what Dallas Dillon did. But then there will be those that will argue, yeah, but President Weah was not in the race. Oh my goodness. What an interesting thing. There are those of us who are not quite surprised because we've been preaching this thing from day one. President Weah is the most popular Liberian ever, I would say, up to this point. If you take the title of the president from Dr. Weah, from President Weah, and let him travel, he will still pull the same crowd. Nothing will change. He's very popular. And you know why? You know why? It's not because of his leadership that you see these kind of crowd over there today. Far from it. Far from it. Most of the people that were there, they were at the crowd, they will go home hungry, no food. They will be calling their brothers and sisters, cursing whoever is in a state, whoever in the diaspora to send money for them to eat. It's not about President Weah leadership that attracted the crowd. Far from it. We know that. However, the interesting thing about that crowd, as far as I'm concerned, that crowd, it also enlightening other countries, stakeholders, and donors. And this is what I said. You cannot and you will not defeat CDC with 10 points. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. If you're going to defeat CDC, you're going to defeat them massively. The way Dallas Dillon defeated them, they couldn't say anything because it was so much. They couldn't find it. They couldn't do anything. And President Weah is in the race. It's going to be interesting. Those of us that would like to see President Weah be defeated, not necessarily because of who he is as a human being. I want him defeated because of his policy. It has nothing to do with personality. You guys know that. I've always stated that. I've always told you already. I told you already how because the President Weah was able to eat and go to school in Canton, coaching soccer. People bringing rice because I'm from Liberia and upon we are from Liberia. So I have nothing but admiration. I don't hate him. But his policy in terms of Liberia, his policy towards Liberia, his policy, the implementation process of that policy is lacking. And our people are suffering. So I have the ability to compartmentalize what my admiration for for President Weah is not the same as that to say he must maintain his job. He has not done some serious reshuffle. 5 years. You got other people that stay in the same position for 5 years. And then when he moved one or two people to CD, say, oh, yeah, and that reshuffle there. That not reshuffle. That resacking, sukukakata, whatever, tabata. That's what you're doing. You're not that. Your team is stupid? No. That not reshuffle. But this election is going to be very interesting. And the sad thing from our part, I have not. I'm going to be reading here again. Yesterday, I read President Weah gathering at Grand Bassa County. I'm going to be reading. I have not seen anything from Ambassador Bakar that is recent that I can try to read from either. Maybe it's there, but nobody's sending it to me. I can't see on front page. Most of the stuff I'm going to be reading either from Front Page Africa or from Daily Observer. So I can't read anything that is not there. I don't know how they're running these campaigns. But it's going to be interesting. Now, the crowd that I'm going ready to show you here tonight, can that same crowd be poor in the Southeast, where there's no road? People can't go to, the children can't go to school freely. People can't even go to market to buy food. Will they be able to pull that same crowd over there in the Southeast? I doubt it. So CDC polling crowd in Mosarada County and the surrounding counties, yeah, there are plenty. Well, we saw CDC crowd in GSA truck, being truck, government official, government cars. But that's the perk of being the president. I got nothing against that. I got nothing against it. That's the adequate enjoyment. Yo a day, waka a day, nya a day. The president is the president of the Republic of Liberia. I have no quarrel with that. But the issue is, what is the response from the opposition? So without any further ado, folks, let me just play this video about 3 minutes or so. But I will also play something else that will undercut whatever message the president whatever message that he has delivered on this video that I'm going to be playing. At the end of the video, there was something that happened that President Weah did. Give me pause that it is about popularity. It has nothing to do with leadership. It has nothing to do with the ability to produce. It has nothing to do with what he's going to do for the country if he were to be re-elected. It has nothing to do with it. It's about himself and popularity. That's it. And I will show you the video. You see, this is what I like about myself. When I watch this thing, I look for something a lot of people are not looking for. I will play that one. But let me play the wonderful video. And please, like I said, it's impressive. It's impressive. In fact, let me change the word impressive and say it's scary. Those of us that my Ambassador Baka, this is scary. I'm scared. Yeah, I'm scared. However, 2020, that's a reason to have silence on that. I mean, we've been here before, but still, very impressive. And here's the interesting thing. As I look among the crowd, look at the faces. These people, if they were true CDC voters, CDC were being, because many of them, they're just getting into their 30s. So 36, they'll still be in charge to vote. Okay? And then another 6 years, they will still be heavily involved. These people not getting out of stage for the next 60 years. I'm not talking about CDC. I'm talking about the voters, the faces that I saw. If they are engaged politically, they're going to be engaged for the next 60 years plus. So if CDC is able to produce, if they do good and then they get re-elected, President Weah get re-elected and is able to produce somebody else, that thing just going to snowball. Going to stop because they're young. And I have not seen anything. The only thing that was able to dislodge the young people the last time was because the opposition were together. But with this fragmented opposition that we have, forget fragmented. Broken pieces. Forget broken set. Broken set as that. I say chakra. The chakra opposition we got. The young people, they say, why won't follow people chakra like this here? And let me go over there to CDC, wear their uniform, I eat one little bit, and go home tonight. But people, you have to get reason to these people to turn against the CDC policy. They don't understand policy. Many of these people, the faces you see, you see anybody, you are not even, when you look at the face and you know, they're not into policy business. They are there to see President Weah. That's it, nothing else. So the good point on that is from now to election time, the euphoria will be over. And if you have good message and you have something good for the young people to gravitate to, it will be easier to dislodge them from CDC. But what do we have? What exactly do we have? I will read that piece here again, and President Weah really took it to us, decimated us completely, and there's no reply. I don't have anything here to read for the reply. We'll just be talking. I will be maybe here. Please, that maybe the people eat. That maybe they will eat. That time like this here, you're supposed to be coming up with reason why people that stood in the sun today or yesterday, whatever time it was, and were cheering so much, the happy faces. But when the night comes, when they leave to go home, nothing there, no food. They know that. But you have to remind them. You can't be quiet when CDC after this kind of stuff, then you come up and make it clear to them. First of all, you recognize CDC ability to pull crowd, and you praise them. At the end of that, then you say, but this is not reality, Liberians. The real thing is many of you have not gotten paid for 2 months. That's reality. The real thing is many of you will not have food to eat tonight. But many of these people that are on that stage, they got food to eat because they're standing on your back and standing on your neck. And because of you, they will eat. Because of you, you will not eat good food tonight. They must be reminded. They must be told that the policy of CDC has done nothing good for this country. You must explain to them. President Weah, they mentioned pro-poor agenda. And I've been perusing all over the social media, all over the newspaper and stuff within the last 3 months to see President Weah and his top nationalists will even make whether they mentioned the word pro-poor agenda. None. I couldn't find anything. But he mentioned that tonight, and we'll deal with it. He brought it up. I didn't. He brought it up. You saw me for a while. I was quiet about it. But this, Imaya, thank you for watching. Mike Dan, thank you for watching. We appreciate it. I appreciate you guys very much. Mr. George, thank you. This is what we need to do. As long as we're doing it with sincerity, not because of hate, we have to separate those two. Because if I'm speaking because of hate, people will notice and people will see through me easily. I'm a human being. I'm jealous like any other person. But these people that continue to ride on the coattail of President Weah, these are the same people when contract come to Liberia. $50,000 contract, $100,000 contract, they take half for themselves. And they expect the contractor to give them 100% of what the contract's supposed to be if they are not taking 50% of the money. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. The contractor going to make sure you get cheap stuff because you took money away from him that does not belong to you. And one of the good things these people would do, they will write the proposal themselves and make it so good to the donors. And the donors will accept it and give them money. And at the end of the day, they get these crumbling rolls, a quarter roll, thing that will not last. Thing that will not last. And our people will accept it. My people, this is what I'm talking about. The crowd was very, very impressive, outright scary for some of us. But we've been on this road before. Except at this time, the opposition, they scatter. They're not even crumbling, forget crumbling. Forget separating, they scatter. They got nothing to offer either. So President, we just most likely we just walk in the park because we got nothing to challenge. I can't. I sit down in Sacramento and say all these things. Then people in Liberia that perhaps listening to me, they might disagree with me. Hey, you sit down over there and make all that kind of thing. We here, we know. They will say. But I was home 3 months ago. I saw what was happening. I spent from I don't call it that the SD Cooper Road to rehab to President. We had placed there. I started 4:30 in the afternoon. I didn't get to rehab until 1 o'clock a.m. Traffic. EW Road. And at the end, I saw security apparatus with guns, using guns to direct traffic, AK-47. I have a video here. So though I don't live there, but I tasted some of it. And for people to live there year in, year out, nothing else, for me, I can say, okay, but God, just help me. I'll soon be going. I'll soon be leaving. But what's about those that stayed there? Amen. 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 Those that are there day in, day out. They don't even know where to get it from. And yet still, Liberians are so patient and they are so good people. That's why God continues to bless that country, by the way. You got people 6 years ago that couldn't even afford one-room apartment. They have over $200,000 houses right now. Go look at the kind of car they ride. And you expect people to say, yes, you're doing good, when the wealth in 6 years has concentrated primarily in the hands of just few. You're not even willing to share. You're not willing to share. Legislature making that kind of money they're making. And then they say, you're going to give us some more because we don't want people to beg us. Some of them, the places they're representing, they can't even go there because no road. And yet, they are coming back, asking you to give them 6 more years. Yeah, Mr. George, let me finish one my tabata and I'll bring you on, please. To give them 6 more years. This is Liberia. We're there and we will be there. The wealth is concentrating in just few. And then the few that are there, they pay school fee. A community that have maybe 5,000 people, they pay 100 people school fee. Then they say, oh, we're doing good for the community. Whereas the entire community don't even have good schoolhouse. When it's raining, up in the interior, when it's raining, the place leaking. And the sad thing is, and I'm not going to hesitate here tonight to say this. You bring Ambassador Bakari, people repeat the same corrupt behavior. When do we get out of this thing, my people? When? But for me, someone who has been engaged in these kinds of process for a very long time, one of the good things that I'm happy with, to be honest with you, of all of the corrupt behavior in Liberia and things like that, when campaign time comes, we expect one man, one vote. That will never change again unless somebody come and change the constitution. Whether they cheated or they ain't cheated, we know on record, one man, one vote. People die for that. People sacrifice their lives for that. One man, one vote. We will get there. It's not gonna. Liberia's not gonna stay like that forever. Are you kidding me? It might not happen in our lifetime, but we will get there as people. For sure. Look at the young Liberians here in the diaspora, highly educated. But the sad thing is, the few that are here that want to go back, when they go back, then they start with corrupt behavior. They go teaching instead of teaching, they're sleeping with students. What a ridiculous thing. Instead of saying, keep their moral to themselves, they go over there to teach university and stuff, then they sleep with the university students. And then they pretend to be the best. They work in new places, take kickback. Highly educated, things they would never dream of doing when they were here in the diaspora. But when they get to Liberia, then everything's out of the window. Who are we? Let me play this video. And then I will read this. After that, I will bring Mr. Josh in. Again, folks, Samson Toe. I'm having some little issue here and there, but I'll play that video again. I'll play it again. while I'm trying to find another video. I want you guys to look at it. And one of the things I want you to look at also is the fact that watch the face of the first lady. Watch the face of the first lady. And watch her hand as she holding on to the president. You can see the tense movement in her. I'm not too sure what that comes from, but I want you to watch that. Let me play the entire video again, please. Okay. All right. I think you got the point. Like I said, the crowd was very impressive, outright scary. But that's what we have. That's what we have, folks. Samson told LeBron Poverito, Mr. Crypoor. Thank you for watching. We appreciate it. That's our Buddha anyway. You go, I'm man. Okay, I'm bad. We are probably working one thing when you go, I beg you. But anyway, folks, Samson told LeBron, my brother is on here, so I'm talking to him. So anyway, folks, Samson told LeBron Poverito. Okay. I have another video of that. And I couldn't find it, but I'll find it, most likely play it tomorrow. But that video, let me just tell you what it was. The president, when they got in the stadium, he and his wife, the wife went ahead of him, sat down. He came and sat down. Instead of standing, of course, he did that later. But the very first thing he did when he sat down was to clean his shoes in the midst of all that jubilation. He was concerned with his white shoes. I have the video, you're gonna challenge me. It took almost a minute or so of his time to clean his shoes, his white shoes. At this time, many Liberians are hungry, and yet still they turn out because of his popularity, not because of his policy implementation process and what have you. But I noticed that the president, before even standing up to say something to the crowd, he cleaned his shoes. It's on our video. It's on our video. I just can't find it right now, but I will play it. He cleaned his shoes. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. But let's go a little bit. Now I'm going to be reading this, and I'll bring Mr. George in. Okay, I got a few moments. Let me read this, and I'll get Mr. George in. Now, this is what I call it. Political gloves are off. This is President Weah. This young man, he has gotten comfortable in this position. And so if Ambassador Baka going to go challenging President Weah, they must be ready. That now your George Weah yesterday. That now the George Weah yesterday, when he was a little bit concerned and politically not quite, but now you must be careful. Listen to this. Like this is coming from there's two of them here, to be honest with you. One is from Front Page Africa. But the one from Front Page Africa was rating. And that's why when you have a good press, when you have a good press day, this is exactly what will happen. I'm not going to read it, but when you go on Front Page Africa and read the same thing that Daily Observer did, you would think, say, President Weah and his people wrote that article for themselves. So I'm not going to read that. But I just want to point out, when you have a good press day, this is what happened. Let's go on to Daily Observer. Okay. Liberia, President Weah warns Liberians against electing failed political elites. He say, not elite, that one though. Let us not be tempted to drink the same old wine from the same old bottle, President Weah said. We have made the remark at the rally organized by the ruling coalition for democratic change yesterday. President George Weah has warned Liberians to not be swayed by empty promises made by failed political elite. The caveat from the president comes as nearly all of the politicians vying for political offices are highlighting frustration among Liberians due to growing poverty and lack of economic opportunity, using catchy slogan and superficial rhetoric to gain support. But Weah, whose administration has struggled from its inception nearly 6 years ago to revitalize the economic and improve infrastructure, is also using counter rhetoric to boost support for his re-election, while claiming that a change in leadership could impede the progress made so far. His argument. Let us not be tempted to drink the same old wine from the same old bottle. We are remarked at the rally. We should gear towards thinking the president for development. Instead, let us recognize, embrace, and celebrate the generation change in national leadership. It's going back to 2017. Generation change. But what has the young generation done for the old people? Nothing. The old people are dying. The people are hungry. Pro-poor agenda is not there. So what are we talking about? Generational change? We're on it. And when the time comes, let us exercise our precious franchise wisely to maintain this momentum. I am proud to say that we are well on the way to fulfilling the vision of our pro-poor agenda. President, we have never mentioned pro-poor agenda for the last 3 months that I know of. I've gone through, I've not seen it. However, amidst our progress, some remnants of the old guard have launched a campaign of lies and vindication. It is even more disheartening that those who have contributed to this failure for over 4 decades are now raising their hands, seeking another chance to continue this sad narrative, the president added. The president, in taking a direct swat at opposition politicians, warned Liberians to not be fooled by those who have only brought disappointment and unfulfilled expectation in the past. President, we are. Thank you. I'll deal with that later. The president argued that the failure of the political elite who have now modified into opposition politicians make it imperative for Liberians to exercise caution and make informed choices based on the achievement of his administration, which he claims are tangible. Since assuming office in 2018, Weah has consistently expressed his commitment to usher in an era of change and progress for Liberia. Where is the change, Mr. President? You got the same people in office for almost 6 years. Where is the change? These people are so good, President Weah, that you're not going to change them. Where is the change? However, this administration has admitted that it failed. Listen again. However, this administration has admitted that it's failed to considerably reduce poverty as envisioned in the administration pro-poor agenda for prosperity and development. The president had promised Liberians that by the end of his 6-year term, 1 million Liberians would have had greater income security, while absolute poverty would be reduced to 25% across 5 out of 6 regions. Where is the 1 million people out of poverty? If we were to take serious statistics, I would believe that instead of reduction, we have addition. However, poverty has been, I even read up out, yeah, come now. However, poverty has been on the increase with about 50% of the country estimated 5.4 million poor, wiped out nearly half of the gain made post-conflict, during which the poverty rate declined from 64% to 42% between 2007 and 2014. They say under his presidency, the poverty level, the reduction that was done before he came in, because of the poor policy, because of the inability to implement good policy to reduce this policy. They have those things in their proper agenda, but they don't even do anything, but they don't want to touch it. Because of that, in that behavior, well, for this administration, they said, poverty has increased. All of the good things that happened on Ambassador Wakai and President Salif, all of the good gain have all been wiped out, completely wiped out. But we are skipped the issue and instead boasted about his administration effort to revitalize the economy, improve infrastructure, enhance healthcare services, and invest in education. As we approach the upcoming race, my competitors boast of experience, yet I stand before you today as the most experienced candidate. Having served as president for the past 5 years, we have utilized our time in office to work tirelessly for the Liberian people. Where people who could never afford one room 6-7 years ago, they got over 200,000. People who couldn't even afford to buy a motorbike. Look at the kind of car they're riding right now. Where do you guys work tirelessly? And President, we are where? We have not squandered the opportunity that were entrusted to us, he said. Oh, $25 million map out. We got no head and tail about it. $16 billion go missing. We don't know what happened. And you said you never squandered the opportunity? President, we are. Let's talk. The improvement in our economy and infrastructure are evident for all to see. Where Road to Grand United County when it's raining, I can't go. I can't go. If somebody, my relative died in Monrovia, and I want to take the body back to Grand United, if it's raining, I will have to keep the body in Monrovia for all that time. Where the improvement? Where is the improvement? 5 years. We are on a irresistible path of progress, a path that touched every sector of the society except Southeast. Southeast was suffering. We are said to the thunder crowd of supporters. Liberia is not a test tube for failed experiment, as people's lives are at stake and they deserve better development. And one of the things that I like about this president, he has the smart mind to recognize what is happening with his people. But where is the policy that's going to help with that recognition? Where is the policy that you will use after you recognize? Where's the solution? They don't have it. Our efforts have extended to the education sector, built and rehabilitated numerous school buildings. And people still sitting down, no chair. Many of the schools, they're sitting down deck brick. In order to provide access to quality education for the youth. However, critics of the president are accusing him of deflecting blame and avoiding accountability for his government failure to achieve major goals in its national development plan, which involve improving greater income security, while absolute property will be 25% across. Those are things they said in their pro-poor agenda. And the president can't come out here that he achieved those specific points they made in their pro-poor agenda. Unacceptable. They argue, President, we are in people now. Folks, Samson told, we're on here again tonight. Impressive crowd, outright frightening crowd. But we've been there before. They argue that the We administration failed as it is being purged by corruption and a lack of progress in key areas such as job creation and poverty reduction. If given another turn, it will be disaster. The people said that they are credit. I think I'm in line with that one. The president warned against empty promises and failed political elite, according to his critic, may be seen as an attempt to divert attention from the shortcoming of his government. Yeah, he ain't got nothing to produce. He said, don't look at me. Look at them. They ain't got nothing to offer. But for the other man, look at me. The man who's leading us. He's the father of the nation. Then he said, we'll not look at him, but we'll look at people who want to come in. However, for the president, the warning is some things that he is serious about and not about the blame game. He cited his experience of witnessing parents struggling to provide for their children, enacting his desire to create change. We have further told his supporters who have defied the inclement weather that he will soon embark on a journey to every town and village, reminding every Liberian of his desire to continuously build a Liberia. When you go, you must stop in Total here and ask the people in Total, President, how your school now? Boston District Association in America is building the school in Total. Because the school building in Total worth nothing anymore. When you go, you must stop in Total and ask the people, where's your market building here? When you go, you must stop in right there by the river and look at the bridge. Before you get to Total in Tapeta, you just try and drive that road from Tapeta to Total. How long is it going to take you? You must ask yourself a question. Are you better where you are now? Are you better than 6 years ago? And in Liberia, where every young person has opportunity to see. When my team and I assumed office in 2018, we were well aware of the enormous challenges that lay before us. That's the truth, President. We are, yeah, begin. I want you to level, you can tell the truth. Only the people that are around you always like to block you and they don't want you to tell the truth. Then you're telling the truth now tonight. Our economy was in dire need of revitalization. Our road infrastructure was in desperate. And our school, hospital, and market building were neglected. According to him, it was our duty to address these pressing issues and ensure a better future for all Liberians. I thank you, Mr. President. In pursuit of the progress during these 6 years, this government have achieved significant milestone, constructed hundreds of kilometers of roads, he said. Where? Now in Southeast, I don't even see it. Maybe, Doe community, we're counting Doe community. Okay, all right. Across the country, we have also focused on improving healthcare services. But the ambassador wrote here the other day, they say you and your people, when you put money in the budget, then they do hospital, then they don't get it. I don't mean who says the ambassador said that, so I want you to know that. By establishing new hospital and investing in the well-being of our people to secure, but then when some of your people get sick, some of the big shot, and when they get sick, they go to Ghana. If you didn't go to Ghana, they go somewhere else. They can't stay in Liberia. They can't stay in Liberia. To secure a prosperous future of our young generation, the president said. We understand the importance of removing barriers that hinder their potential. That is why we introduce and implemented programs such as free tuition and free payment for YS and YX. We could not stand by idly by why children were denied an education and our infrastructure crumbled. Meanwhile, we have also extended an open invitation to all 4 members of the ruling coalition who have left for any reason whatsoever to come back. Prince Johnson, them will come back. That's something I laugh. Folks, Prince Johnson, he said Prince Johnson will come back. Prince Johnson. Whether it was because of dissatisfaction, disappointment, disrespect, disagreement, disenchantment, or any other he said, let all bygones be bygones and come back home to join hands with us, brothers and sisters, in this great commission for victory. He said, whatever you think we did to you that hurt your feeling, yeah, but you Prince Johnson, he was specific. He said, you want me back then, you plot the Nima people not get a ministerial position. Yep, and when I see you get ministerial position, Nima, then I think Prince Johnson and Rescue 2 will leave. Please forgive us. And whatever you might have done to us that may have hurt our feeling, our pride, we forgive you, he said. Yeah, that one I'll never begin. Meanwhile, the thank you rally hosted by the ruling coalition saw an overwhelming numbers of supporters. I will stop there. Folks, Samson told President Weah, thank you for that information. But I tell you, this will not, I just, let me show you one other video. The president said they have done so much. I will show you Monrovia, his own backyard. I will show you Monrovia, his own backyard. This is what we do here. This is what I'm going to do for you. Let's look at this. His own backyard, folks. His own backyard. Monrovia, Republic of Liberia, capital city. His own backyard. Look at it. Look at it, my people. And these people 6 years, they said they have done so wonderful thing for the country. Look at this. Monrovia. And they want another 6 years. With this kind of filth in Monrovia. If you get 6 years, that filth will continue to come. The Wanga will come, the Ganta will come up before you look. Look at road. Look at road, my people. In 6 years, look at road. Look at truck, they can't even move. Look at this. And this is what they say. For this, what they've done and what they have not done, they're asking you for 6 more years. They're asking you for 6 more years. Put a blindfold over your eyes and go to sleep. When you wake up, there will be president again. This, they want you to re-elect them for 6 years. My people, this is what we have. Samson told LeBron Pabrito. Let me go now. Any of you ready? Just put your thumb up. Mr. George, I don't see you. Mr. Malley, when you're ready, put your thumb up and we'll bring you on. Okay. Let me bring in Malley. Good evening, Malley. Thank you for joining.
Yes, good evening, Mr. Toll.
Thank you.
Yeah.
President Weah and his people, their crowd was very, very impressive. It was outright scary. However, the solace that I got out of it, as I've said before, is the fact that we've been out on this route before. Mr. George, when you're ready, just put your thumb up and we'll bring you in. And so the point here that I'm trying to make tonight is why the crowd might be very impressive, but I don't think that's everything. According to what I just read, the critics are saying, he's saying to the Liberian people, don't look at me. Don't look at what I say I do, but I ain't able to do it. Don't look at that one. Look at the people who come in. They been there, they ain't do nothing. Well, you there, you haven't done anything. Mr. George, when you're ready, put your thumb up and we'll bring you in. So, and I'm saying, okay, all right. So why he was able to pull a crowd like that? And that crowd was just, for me, was scary. He was, but also, President Weah is well loved in our country. The scary part about this thing is this: do the Liberians have the sophistication, or are they at the level where they will be able to say, we love him, but his policies are bad, we're not going to keep him, and we'll still love him? Can they do that? This is the question that we all have to try to answer. What say you, Malley? Have I been talking about a Tabata here tonight that perhaps don't mean anything to you?
Well, I think the rephrasing or the verbatim reading of President Weah's statement is a very good thing. And I've been following your analysis about the whole exercise, even though your analysis has been on the 100% on the downside, and which of course constitute part of the analysis. But President Weah's statement will be meaningful depending on the audience that he's speaking to. And President Weah's statement will be meaningless and like a trash depending on the audience the president is speaking to. If we're taking President Weah's statement into consideration, starting from 1944 to 1971, here was a guy who was elected and stayed in power for 27 years. And over, the same old voter were putting him in power and praising him. I can say he was more popular at that time than President George Weah. I think the difference here is that since the war up to now, up to present, Mr. Toll, Liberia has produced what I call a high-functional citizenry. A high-functional citizenry that are reading between lines, despite their educational problem, despite their illiteracy. Liberians are actually reading between lines these days. But then the last question you just struck, that with all these things, the man is still popular. With all these things, people will still be suffering and still go vote for this man. That is the miracle we're waiting for in October. Between you and I, we have seen so many things going on in Liberia. But these things caught up with George Weah at the time. So I always told my colleague that George Weah became president the wrong time. When the people are half functional, when the underdevelopment continue to pile up, and he has no technocrat to work his way out. Now Weah is telling you in his paper, Weah has presented a very colorful paper. I'm telling you, so interesting. Where he appealing to people who left to come back. Oh, really? You see? But these things happen down the line. They happen in so many other governments. They happen in so many other era. This is another era. This time with George Weah. So, if the people will have to come and allow George Weah to replace himself, trust me, I would rather give up on the Liberian people. But the type of voter we have, it's possible that these same people who we think are suffering will be the same people to prove us wrong that indeed we are suffering, but we still want to suffer again and we'll vote this man in power again. It's very, very possible in politics.
Mr. George, thanks for your patience. I really do appreciate your patience tonight. You're not known for that level of patience. You yell and scream at me, but for the night, Mr. George, you're very patient, and I don't know exactly what happened. Maybe you swallow a little bit about tonight. That way you're not hyper on me tonight. But whatever it is, I'll leave it as it is. And when they meet you again, I will tell them to meet you again tomorrow. I will enjoy myself. Anyhow, what do you make of my statement here this evening?
Yeah, I've been following you. Mali, how you doing?
Oh, how are you?
Good into the listeners. Yeah, go into our listeners. Look, the voters today in Liberia, I can't say they are not sophisticated. They are sophisticated. Where the program was heard, is it in Monrovia or Buchanan?
They have one in Buchanan, and this one was in CDC headquarters.
Okay.
Yes.
And how big is that headquarters that crowd converged there like that? So
for me, yeah, the crowd.
But let me say this.
Yeah.
Buchanan, the crowd. Right now, I don't know if it become a new phenomenon in Liberia. Because where the crowd will come from, all the 3 or 4 major political parties, you see the huge crowd turn up. Where they coming from? Is it a different crowd or what's it, or the same people? Because I've been different people just moved there. So the only important thing I would say is the election results. Because I don't debate this crowd issue again. So because every political party, when crowd here, they say the truck, the other political party say they truck these people. So I'm not debating that issue again. All I'm waiting for to see which party that would translate that crowd into vote. But we have a history. Quite recently, we saw what happened to the senatorial election. That's a different case with a different individual, but with the same party. It was something about one of the when Tama Fala failed the SKD. You said that was done.
Yeah.
And after I said, no, Samson, this crowd, hold on. And the other thing was no crowd. They said, oh, Tama Fala finished. But at the end of the day, we saw what the vote went to. So all the parties, they can put all the crowd. All I'm saying, what is the message to convince these people? Because you see the political rally when it happens, there are different reasons people go there for. These people go there in Liberia for. They're not that year. Because I will not go attend a Republican rally. You're not seeing me there. I don't care what they say. You're not seeing me there. You don't see my photo, no Republican rally. You won't see me there. But Liberia's a different thing. So my company, they give me $10, let's go back. Man, let's go. You get that bad one, you want that $10 because of the social economic condition you find yourself in. But the message, my man, just go. Just show your face, my man. Tell you know what to do. So all these things, they are factors that are playing in Liberia. But I want to see the policy that these people defending and what the opposition will be bringing. Colorful paper written by Samuel Tuer and Eugene Nangbe. But
where is that?
That paper you just read, that's Samuel Twain and Eugene Langbe.
Oh no, the ones Samuel Twain and Eugene Langbe wrote is from front page Africa. This is unbelievable. The West front page Africa put up. They didn't quote anything, but they simply just it was now I see why it was written like that.
Yeah. So, but the issue here is they talk about education, YFE. I give it to the person we have. Tuition, I give it to him. No argument, he got it. But what is the condition of those institutions? Can President Weah allow any of his first graduate to go to any school today, moreover, the government school? Can he? No. He won't. All the people that are in government today, ministers, senators, would they allow any of the children to go to any public school in Liberia? No, they won't. But if everything is so good, why your relative cannot go there? Your children, immediate family cannot go there. So let's leave that one. The healthcare system. If this system is so good and improved, why are you running to Ghana and India? Why? Because the doctor there, you pay money to train those doctors. The government pay money. And you have the facilities. According to you, it's good. Why you can't go there to receive medical attention? Why you fly to Ghana? Why you go to India? So these things the people must be asking themselves, the voters must be asking themselves. The other day I heard a story. The administrator in the public relations office for JFK. There's a lady that carried a story on her. Now she went to the hospital, JFK, to see a doctor. She had a problem. But she said she wanted to talk to a doctor. Then they charged her $30. $20 is like a consultant for the specialist you're going to see in JFK. And the $10 is for the registration. So they asked the public, he said that is the protocol they have there. That if you want to see a specialist in JFK, you have to pay $20 US to speak to the specialist. Then the next thing that came to my mind was, wait. This is a government hospital. All the doctors have been paid by government. So why do we be charging a patient $20 to see a specialist in JFK when they are being paid by government? Because specialists should be outside of the government hospital. You go there, you see them to the clinic. But in the government hospital, where they are being paid, then a citizen go there and say you got to pay extra $20 to see that specialist, and he being paid by government. Is it the kind of system that George Weah today is talking about the healthcare they are improving? The hospital they dedicated in Bapu, is it open? The hospital is not furniture. It's sitting there now. You see how people waste government resources? You go, people build a hospital. You go and dedicate a hospital. Now people are saying, is it running? Is it in full operation? No. But you're telling the people, this is what we're doing best. We're getting to your knees. Row. Talk about row, my people. We also had a Sunday hearing the other day. The whole, I think, 5, 6 counties in the southeastern region, no road work. Just to grade the road, to service the road, nothing is going on. This road connectivity they talk about is just on the enclave of Monserrado. The only major one is the Bangan Lufa Highway. But all the road connection is right on our enclave. So how can you tell us that you are embarked on the massive construction of the country? So, but again, the question comes back to the Liberian people. Are you better off today than yesterday? And if you think that the present government is doing so much that you don't need to change, fine, that's okay. It is your right. If your condition 5 years ago has changed, then you can vote for George Weah. But if you still remain in the same position and you say you want to vote for George Weah, that's up to you.
Okay.
You cannot say we have not told you the facts. But let me just end this note. The video that President Weah said he didn't do nothing for the Liberian people at the time, and they elected him. And in that same video, he said, I had done my best for the Liberian people. So that's why I'm making an argument now. That as far as I'm concerned, where President Weah has reached in the country, that is the best of President Weah. Because he himself has said that he had done his best. He cannot go above that. And maybe, let me just switch it to the football thing. President Weah got the world best, European best, African best. That was a higher President Weah could reach. I don't care what he do or what he did. He could not pass that point again. He could not go to World Cup. No. He could not go to African Cup of Nations. No. That was his best. And in this thing, the political atmosphere, this is President Weah's best performance he has done for the country. So that's why I always say, Mr. Edison Cummings is the way out. Thank you. Let me rest my case.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Josh. Again, folks, Samson to Liberian Public Radio. We're here this afternoon, and just to remind everyone, our colleague, Mr. Soul, is still going through some issues. He has some bereavement situation that he's covering up. Hopefully, he will be joining us here very shortly here. But those of you that are not quite aware, you can give him a call. He's okay, though. There's nothing wrong. He's fine. But we just want to make that clear why you have not seen him in the last few weeks or what have you. Amanda, let me come to you.
Yeah.
If you were giving some sort of consultancy advice or whatever it is to the opposition, with what I just read here, which is President Weah's speech and what have you, what would be some of the, how will you advise the opposition to counteract this particular narrative of President Weah?
Why not narrow it down to how will you advise Joseph Walker, how you advise Cummings or Tianwa Gonklo? Because the whole opposition will not speak as a one black.
But that's what I want him to do. I'm putting him on record to see how I don't want him to speak here and there. I want him to speak because he can say that Tianwa Gonklo will say this, Walker will say this, but at the very end, whatever it is that he's trying to distribute among them, there will be one single thread that hold up conversation together, and that's a thread that I'm trying to get from him. Go ahead.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Mr. Tool. I think your question is very important and quite challenging. No matter whosoever, apart from George Weah, that will take over Liberia, there's a huge challenge ahead of whatsoever government. It could be Tianwa Gonklo, it could be Alex. But the difference here is that assuming President Weah is re-elected, President Weah is still not prepared to develop the mind that there is huge challenge before him. No,
but let me hold you. Let me hold you to that. In what I just read here, he admitted that there's a challenge. Of course, he said from the beginning.
Yes.
So if he can admit from the beginning of challenge, I still believe he does believe that there's still a challenge. But go ahead.
Very good. But you know what? President Weah and his architects put in a document that he acknowledges there are challenges. You know why? He wants to win the mind of the independent. He wants to win the mind of the undecided voters. That indeed, this president, he's a liberal president. He admits that there are challenges. But within the next 6 years, there will be a way out. So he played on the mind of the undecided voters. That's why you see that phrase. There's a strategy for that phrase. It's not there for nothing. It's not there just to occupy space. No. is there to play on the independent mind and the undecided voters. But anyway, let's come back to addressing your question. First of all, the opposition, instead of actually taking the airwave, maybe to counter all these impediments we have listed and try to improve on it just to get vote, they will have to, first of all, engage the very vernaculars grouping in the 16th county. Forget about the English group. The vernaculars, because most of our people that are going to vote, the 1.4 million registered voter, according to one source, all right? Engage the vernacular, let them understand some of the impediment and the problem the man has left behind, for which we think collectively we cannot carry him forward. But if the opposition will decide to spend more time on the English version of their campaign, and you have very small population in there to understand and vote for you, it's going to be a waste of time. You don't expect the opposition to take Joe Wias's statement or everything that they did to be good to take it on the dining room table. No, the opposition, no opposition going to do that. All right? But assuming you and I, we have come this side and see what it means to vote for somebody in power. Okay? This is where sometimes I try to be objective, and my good friend, Dr. Toto, tend to tie my legs to the CDC. You see?
Wait, you said tie leg?
Yeah.
You putting your whole body to CDC. Wait,
okay. But objectively,
Dr. Toto, me, I tie your whole body to CDC.
Okay. Yeah. But to be frank with you, objectively, let's try to digest this statement piece by piece. The road issue has been on, the road problem has been on since 1847. It gets worse under Georgia. Everything that's happening under Georgia now have been happening since we gained our independence. The difference here is that it's worse off. And that's why I continue to say Georgia became president the wrong time, where the citizenry are high functional, they're reading between lines, and they can take him to tax, and he allowed this free system where we speak our mind, right? So look at the road. We've been seeing our road condition for record ages. Now, right now, look at the healthcare issue, where you have the health minister having her own clinic, okay? Now, look at what Pajo just said. This is our health. This is the hospital, the government hospital. People are paying to see a private doctor, to see a specialist in our hospital. This is what I call a daylight corruption, and the government is not even thinking to reduce poverty on the people. So, in a nutshell, the opposition is going to make use of these things. But if they're making use of these things in English to go across the college students with the level-headed gentlemen in town, the undecided, they will be wasting time. Because the 1.4 registered people, they're all the way in the bush there. They're all the way in the Vera County. So vernacular advertisement right now will pay off for any opposition political party leader.
Thank you. Mr. Josh.
Yeah.
The fact that maybe it's me, but I believe the president is getting, not only getting, he's very comfortable in this position now. I think he's not only comfortable.
I agree with you.
He has when he two days in a row that he had gone after the opposition, specifically Ambassador Bakai, without missing any words whatsoever. And his engagement with the people, he has gotten more comfortable. Now, do you think with that kinds of level of comfort coming from from President Weah in terms of his engagement with the Liberian people, you think he'll be ready for debate? And if he goes to a debate, you think anybody will be able to lay the gloves on him?
Mr. Tool, debate will not have somebody to give you a piece of paper. You don't have you not give you a piece of paper. You'll be standing there on your own, and there will be questions. You will answer and follow-ups. So that audience you see, our person we are, that's his strength. That's his strength. That audience, that's his strength. Because when he's there, he's more relaxed. He speaks the language they understand, the jargon. So he's more comfortable in that setting. But when you get on the debate stage, that's a different. You are seeing it here in this country. People who are highly functional, highly educated, they get on a debate stage. The people say, "Hey, but what's wrong with you?" So that's a different terrain. So there's those are two different issues. When President Weah is in that crowd, or he's relaxed, you can see him. You can see him taking all the jabs. It seems like when he go to his church, he's relaxed. He take the jabs at people. But when you talk about debate, that is a different thing because people are going to ask you on a specific.
So are you trying to suggest that what we're seeing, President, we are being so comfortable in talking to the crowd, is it because of the papers that Honorable Nagbe and Honorable Tua has given him, as you're saying? Is that why he's so so comfortable?
No, that's his setting, Mr. Tua. Everybody got their strength. That's one of Joshua. That's Joshua's strength.
But let me push a little bit on this here. Mm-hmm. Knowing who he is, he's a former football player, where he played in front of thousands of audience.
Yeah,
and he has gotten used to that. Mm-hmm. So what makes you think? And most of the time, the audience that he played in front, he doesn't even know them by name. But what makes you think that when he goes to an audience where the debate will be, that he's not going to shine? Since he's already used to that kinds of audience, what makes you think now that if he goes for a debate,
don't compare apple and oranges?
Okay.
When you are president, you go to a presidential debate, especially you are the incumbent, you have record to defend.
Yeah.
And their subject matter, people are going to ask you.
Mm-hmm.
You have to explain.
Mr. Joyce, we're talking Liberian population. Whereas when you're playing in front of when you're playing football in front of people, you gotta be scared of ringing bell. You gotta be scared of even missing the ball. So I think the intensity in the level of intense competition with that, I think compared to President, we are having a debate in Monrovia, in Liberia, in Monrovia. I think most. But anyway, go ahead and make your point.
Samson told you missing the point.
As usual.
Playing football in front of a crowd, singing, those are things you perform. But when you sit down one-to-one for somebody to interview you, that is a different thing. And when a debate comes, can you have Mr. Boakai or Councilor Gonglo, President B. Cummings, Monova, and all of that. And maybe the debate style will be you ask your opponent one question and your friend will ask you one question with a follow-up. Those are difficult things to do. It's not a soccer patient on. Even that the audience, that crowd can be that audience can be there. But you are the one that answering the question. You don't know what the next question the man going to bring to you. So it's a different thing. So, but President Weah strength, if that don't rally, President Weah is very good at that rally. He speak at that time. He will speak the language. He's not defending anything. All he telling the people, hey, they did it to us. The spoiler we don't want to face the crowd. Say, yeah, we're building markets. Yes, you're still working out no money. Yes, that's it. Nobody asking any question. So that's a friendly crowd you're in. But when you go on a stage where camera is on, the world is focused on you people, it's a different setting. So And that's why I say I'm waiting. I hope this election should not be a coin election where he say he's not going to debate. Because at that time he said you're not going to debate, you say yes. I hope this one they should go to debate, because that one everybody will be there to defend the policy and tell the people, those who want to take a job, where they want to take the country, and he who defending his position, where he took the country from and where he want to carry the country for another 6 more years. I want to see that. But
So-
these are the things we should be talking about.
Let me come to you, Mali, and then I'll go back to Mr. George, of course. The question that I have for you, Mali, is President, we are from the language and the wording that I've been reading here tonight. It seems like he has gone into the playbook of Eugene Fagon, where he used the word all political elite. Considering, I'm not too sure whether it's Ambassador Waka that he's considered political elite, or Armo Komin, or even Councillor Gongo, but he used the word political elite. You think President Weah is now going back into the notes of 2017 and try to see and bring up some of the things that worked for them those days, and try to now dust those papers out and then now put it in the public domain again? You think if that's the case, you think that will work this time around? It worked before.
Yes, the question is yes and no. You know, at times I was privileged to befriend a speech writer in this country. And one of their strategy here is that they go to pass 2-3 speeches they do for the president. And they go and make an assessment of these speeches and see what was written then and compare it to the prevailing circumstances now and see whether it will be appealing. This is how the presidential speeches are written. So that speech you just said the right thing, Mr. Toole. They went back to the archive. They're using the word elite because the field is crowded right now. The field is so crowded that Joe Weah said I don't know whether his popularity stays strong enough to maintain his ground, right? So it's very relevant, that particular speech, political elites. He referring to the front runner. He particularly Joseph Boakai. Next in line, Alexander B. Cummings. You see, because before you qualify your opponent to be an elite, like you know their capability, any mistake, they will teach you lesson. You see, so I will refer to Mr. Toole as a political elite because I know Mr. Toole has the capability, he has the fortitude, he has the financial capability, and he can sway the mind of the people to get me down. So you are someone to contend with. And I'm not going to take you for granted. So that word is carefully selected and it's being carefully applied. And so I agree with George Weah. It's well applied down there. But I just wanted to address a few little things about the debate thing. I want to ask ourselves a question. The market women, who I want to believe the majority and all the political heavyweight are relying on some of the illiterate people to really vote for them. Do they have time for debate? Because for us to classify or qualify who goes for debate, you must first of all identify your audience. Joe Weah feel that he doesn't really need to go for debate. Joe Weah feel that he knows the voters. He can go to New Crew Town and sit down in a palaver hut or sit down in a kitchen and get his message across. Joe Weah feel that he can go to Slabway and just talk to a few people. And one instrument Joe Weah is using at this particular moment is this. Maybe we have forgotten, Mr. George. Joe Weah, when he started his campaign, he said that both people can and spoil our country. They're coming back again. They want power to spoil it again. You know how many people those statements resonate with? Plenty of people. if Joe Weah, he's not an intellectual animal. No. Joe Weah go on stage down there, he will lose a lot of vote. Joe Weah is you're going to lose a whole lot of vote. From the college students, from the level-headed people, for the intelligentsia, he will lose a whole lot of vote because they are going to provoke him where his emotion will cause him to go out of track. Then we'll see a whole lot of things about Joe Weah. So Joe Weah is not even going to go to debate this time around. He will not do it. Trust me.
So let me come to you, Mr. George, and the same question here, but different phrase it differently. As Malice is saying, suggesting that using the word elite, President Weah is putting these people at a different level category, which perhaps he might be afraid or whatever. Then the question to you is, do you see from all the video that you have seen President Weah engaging people and what have you, even though it's not political, it's not campaign season yet, but do you think President Weah taking these people seriously, and do you think if he's concerned or even afraid?
I don't know he should be concerned. Not I don't want to say afraid, but he should be concerned because what you see, that's why we say the incumbent has an advantage because he's the president. He say he go in the place, again, you see what the party they organize, but because the official campaign was so being started. So, but when you do this thing, he's the president, like or not. Some people go just to see the president of the country. Some people go to the right to see the president. Not that they like him or so, but they just go that they want to see the president. So that is the power of that office. But this word elite, they're trying to use this word, Joe is trying to use the word to define these people, to put people in a special class.
To say they are not one of us.
Yes. But then I said, he can't say so. And when he did that, he only caught his own statement because the other man said that because they say he was not, he went to school, he got a master's degree. So if you see that education, you're not educated, education has not done anything, but why you want to obtain a higher?
Oh.
Because if I'm telling someone this stage is not good, this stage has not done any good, but then I go that the same stage are going to grab. So it means that you're not being honest. And all the people send me to when you say send me to what class, if you want to define someone to what class will you put him in? Is he an ordinary person? No. Eugene Nangwe, is he an ordinary person? No. Molba Molu, is he an ordinary person today? No. This guy, Molba Molu got drivers, he got cars, he got security. So you are part of the elite class. You can't take yourself off of it. You're not in the ghetto with the people again. You have left that for a long, long time. And what are you doing to change the life of the people that are left in the ghetto? These are points that I said, the issue should be around debate. But these phrases, they know, they use it because you know what? They are targeted audience. They know that the message will resonate with them. So
Okay.
They say, yeah, you see those people? They've been in the country, they've been ruining the country for all those years. That it seems again they want to come back. But President Weah went in the Senate. You were in the Senate, I think, for 3 years. So how can you say you're not part of that class? You have been part of the political animal. So you can't, but again, as I said, the message is for a targeted audience. They know where to speak that language and they know who they are targeting.
He said, yeah, thank you, Mr. Joyce. He said, yeah, Malice, let me come to you. He said, okay, let me take this call. Samson told Labron Public, what's your name, where you're calling from, what's on your mind, before I go back to Malice here. Hello?
How you doing, Mr. Toro? This is Elvis calling from Minnesota.
Hey, Elvis, how you doing? Welcome.
Are you getting me?
Yeah, we got you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, Mr. George is talking about, President Weah should go on the stage to debate. And let me say hello to Mr. George and Mr. Miley before I make my points.
Yeah,
Yeah, how
that
you
was
The
doing?
reality is, like Mr. Miley rightly said, President Weah knows his weaknesses. He's not an intellectual. He's not somebody that's going to go there and use all the words and all the phrases and be able to articulate policy. That's why he has his people there to do that for him. But let's look at when you're talking about elite. Cummings is trying to portray himself to be an ordinary man. Unlike President Weah's, his Cummings' father was a Episcopalian prelate who had ways to send him to the United States to come to school and get an education. If George Weah didn't have the God-given talents of playing football, he would have probably, wasted by the wayside like many other youth from the slum communities that he comes from. So he's a self-made man in the truest form of the word. So this election, when people are looking at crowds and saying that it doesn't matter, it matters. As a CDC supporter, as a President Weah supporter, when I see Joseph Boyka's crowd, I get concerned. Definitely, I'm not going to say, oh, you need to pay those people. This is the reality that we're facing. This election is not going to be a landslide. It's going to be very close, unlike the 2017 election. So when we're on these platforms, let's be honest, let's be balanced. Don't try to take away any victory that the president has or any good optics that we can see and try to downplay it. That would be disingenuous for somebody like Mr. George who we respect on this platform. Well, Mr. To, I must tell you, I send my condolences to Mr. To, Mr. So, and I haven't been on here for a little bit, but the show is a good show tonight.
Thank
Well
you.
spoken, and you've been very generous with the time on the panelists. Thank you for taking my call. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Let me take this other call. Yeah, call out Samson to LeBron Public Road. What's your name? Where you're calling from? What's on your mind?
Yeah, this is Terry calling from Minnesota.
Hey,
Mr.
Terry. Thank you. Okay, hold on, Terry. Let me merge this other caller here, then they can wait. If I don't merge, then they will be. Terry, just a minute. All right, go ahead, Terry. Mr. Paul, just hold on 1 minute. Go ahead, Terry.
Yeah, so you see, Mr. To, ready to be honest with you, the CDC-led government is losing it bigly. And
Using what? Using what?
I think they're losing it bigly.
Oh, bigly. Okay, okay, Donald Trump. Sorry about that.
Yeah. Yeah, anyway. So, yeah, I think the American people are going to give it to Donald Trump again. But anyway, that is not my argument.
Okay, hold on. Let me put hold on, Terry. Let me put this other person on, and then I can just pack them and let me merge them. Okay. Okay. Just hold on, Cobb. Please hold on. We got two guys ahead of you. Yep. Just hold on, please. Go ahead, Terry. Make it brief so the other people can come in.
Yeah, you see, if you look at Mr. Weah's exposure and even his analysis, just show you clearly that he's out of touch with even the reality of what is happening around him. He said that Joseph Boyka was speaking while he was in the Senate. Then he made mention of being in the Senate during the time of Albert Che. Albert Che was not in the Senate when he was in the Senate. That clearly shows you that the guy is out of touch with the reality. But to be honest, I must give you one thing. He really put up those jobs. This last one he did, and he made a story of Joseph Boyka, the dreamer. Joseph the dreamer and Joseph the sleeper. That was a perfect, campaign position. They tuned up the car. I will give it to him. That was a plus for him. The reality, after all this things, the reality begins to kick in with the people and what they're going to face. And that is the reason why the people are going to vote against him. The people are not voting against him because they don't love him. The people are voting against him because they love him. Because if you put President Weah back, Liberia will go to war. Let me just be honest with you.
God forbid.
Will go to war.
God
because
forbid.
Within the next 2 years, the government will collapse. Just ask yourself, Mr. Toole, how is President Weah going to generate revenue going forward for the next 6 years? How is he going to attract investors? How is he going to make it? The government is losing deeply when it comes to money. What is the strategy? The men take money and travel to go to Israel. And when we come by the answer, he say he went on a religious journey to see what Jesus, So what is the revenue he's bringing for all these travels?
Okay.
Where are the investors he's attracting?
Okay.
The guy do not have.
Okay, hold on. Let me see if
So that is the reason why when the country go into a serious economical
guys, I can't take more than what I have now. So just go ahead. Okay, thank you. Let me add this. I hope it won't knock everybody up. Okay. All right. Let me go on, guys. I got some people are falling. Okay. All right, Mr. Paul, go ahead. The guys, try to make it brief. Somebody, please lower your music or something. Ambrose, lower your music. Ambrose. Thank you. All right, Mr. Paul, go ahead. Mr. Paul, are you there? Mr. Paul, are you there?
Me?
Are you there, Mr. Paul?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, now we can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you again for taking my call. So you see, the word elite have been giving a negative, connotation, but elite just simply means the high in society, the powerful. George Weah is one of the powerful. Cummings will be considered one of, even though he's not a political elite, because he hasn't taken the power yet, but yeah, he's one of the powerful in society. So is Mr. Bugger. The question is, why are they three, what are they done with their power? You know what I mean? Because it's okay to have power, but what are you doing with your power is what matters. The reason that elite get negative, negative connotations because most elites have, they abuse their power. Joshua has been abusing his power. Mr. Braga, have not used his power properly. But you see, Mr. Kume is using his power to uplift, the society through, education, through, healthcare and farming. So there's nothing wrong with being an elite, but what do you do, if you are an elite in the society? That's one point. My next point is this. Our country is dying, Mr. So, and saying it's one of the best he ever said since he been on the show. Like, even Mr. Braga gets there, he's not going to do anything about corruption. Because the man is.
What did he say? You said this is the best. This is the best that I've done since I've been on this show.
There's one of the best thing you ever said when you said when Mr. Braga gets there.
Mr. Paul, I've been doing this thing here since 19 weeks, almost 15, 16 years. He said this is a.
Yeah, but in my opinion, because the reason I said that because I'm such a phantom.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't say why you will support Mr. Braga, right? It's your right. Because the reason I'm saying that is this.
Okay.
Boma Kamara just did a intensive research, right? And it came out that the Party government raised I'm going to get my hand on that report, $4.8 billion over the 12 years period, right? And $4 billion were used in recurrent expenditure. Only 800 million people were spent back into the economy. That's the reason why you see our society is the way it is today. And the next Joshua can come out and say they did not do nothing, now I'm doing something. Because when the Union Party government reduced the spending when it comes to governance.
Okay.
See, that's the reason why CDC got it in a net right now they cannot get ourselves out of. So Mr. Braga, they probably just need to go rest. They put a country in either Kume's hands or Mr. Gongo's hands. We'll be having a little shot of kind of tackle the thing called corruption because it's the vampire that is killing our society.
Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, Carb, go ahead, Carb. You're next.
Yeah, go ahead, Reno.
Thank
How
you.
you guys doing?
Thank you for joining us. Where you calling from, though? Where you calling from?
I'm calling from San Antonio, Texas. Helena Wilson. Mm-hmm.
Is it Wilson?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. I thought it was Cobb. Okay. But go ahead. Then after you, we'll bring Cobb in.
Go ahead. Yeah, I answered it wrong. Okay, sorry.
Is Cobb there?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry. Okay, you can go ahead.
Go ahead. Please let's go through the line. All right. Go ahead, Cobb, please.
Thank you so much for the show, Mr. Toe.
Thank you. Where you calling from, sir?
I'm calling from DC.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. We scatter you up. Go ahead.
I follow the show so well, and I love your contribution sometimes.
Thank you.
But I listen to the second to the last caller just now who talk about war because of somebody that is supposed to be president talking about war. This system since 2017 and after hour you want to wear and start laying out on the wear looking for money. Those are statements you supposed to say when I in favor of you. That's the issue. When you talk about debate, I don't know why some of the opposition keeps talking about debate. Your way debate is already passed. The man now debate became president. The man is doing things that elaborate people see. Nothing that they talk about debate. Those are people that are talking about debate are Kumi and Bwaka. And meaning the president is talking about debate are Kumi. Bwaka won't record for no Bwaka record. A record is showing he's a sleeping man. He's a Joseph a sleeper. So it won't record very clear. President Weah will be re-elected based on 3 issues. This is men are getting power during the COVID time. Two consecutive years, the country in hard, even the whole war was difficult. In our manner, so you ought to make sure that making development in our country.
Okay.
Through the little research that you have, you ought to make sure that those people are in the government or it will be on payroll.
All right. You'll try to make it brief. You got a lot of people online, so they all want to contribute.
Let me just end this.
Yeah, please.
Let me just end this. I hear Unify voted my wage bill. This people Unify government 2005. The dancers, everybody, all the new people. This is when power. They don't dance normally. They went Alex of people on the same wage bill. They maintain the wage bill up to now. They maintain
the wage bill. They maintain the wage bill. Okay, thank you, my brother. Thank you, Carl. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Madam Wilson, it's your turn. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Thank you for the show. Following the show. Concerning Mr. John, I know you're there. So it helping you. So we understand we'll not get there. Because you take 2 hours to discuss the way you don't discuss. How do you know it?
Oh, me? You said me?
No, not you.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, secretary for drug and ANC camp.
Yeah.
They may take 2 hours to discuss President. We are listening to the show. You didn't even discuss nobody else. So I know you're there. And then when people come after Mr. Coming and they say, why we going personal with Mr.
So you don't think CDC putting your foot in your mouth tonight, eh?
No, now we're not photo because they want and a politics here, but they won't start job went 2 hours on President we are. You didn't even talk about nothing else. Only President we are. How are you? I know
You even know the people.
You go personal because you go personal. We start calling again and then you say that personal business. We're not bringing on the show. We'll bring on the show anything else. We'll throw it in there because
all right.
You have to go personal with the president.
Okay.
And that's not right. And then you went ahead again. Another thing. In America, the government hospital. The people don't pay in the government hospital. A free hospital. Even they're getting paid by the government, but they don't pay. That's free hospital. And in America, another question, the doctor they don't have a private clinic. They have their own personal clinic. So we must start deceiving our people. All the things that are happening in America, and not because of Liberia, they want everything to. When the people not pay in the hospital, how you want the hospital to run?
Okay.
How you want the government hospital to run? You gotta stop what you're doing.
All right.
There's nothing to offer that, but we have beer. Waiting for the time to be.
Okay.
There's nothing to offer us.
All right, Madam Wilson. Thank you very much. Okay. All right, Ambrose, go ahead. Mr. David, you'll be next.
Yeah,
Ambrose, go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm not going to stay too long on the line. I'm enjoying the conversation and having the only thing that maybe the gentlemen that call saying if a unity party don't win, there will be a war in Liberia. I think we need to start discouraging that type of conversation.
Yeah.
I think people go too low or they take the politics too difficult now. They're making it so difficult. We can disagree, we can have a discussion, we can talk about it. But if you're telling they don't win, I mean, he never ran a good a good campaign to win the election. But we start scaring people to say, oh, if you don't vote by Kennedy, it will be a war. I know you're rebuking him or you're praying to no over there, but I think we need to be different as our attitude.
Okay.
And I think you're underestimating Jawia intelligence. He may not be a good public speaker, but he can go for the Donald Trump. Donald Trump is not a good debater, but he get a point. And he will just hit you and the crowd go wild. So, but I think people underestimate Jawia, but I know I allow all people to call.
Thank you
for the show.
Thank you, Amber. Appreciate it. You all were very brief. All right, Mr. Davis, go ahead.
Yeah, Mr. Todd, my problem with the Liberian people, including you, when you go to Liberia, you can be made 1 week, you'll be running by in America. Those people that sit down here, they support what we are going to do, they're going to go there. They act on the in Liberia. You can't sell it. You can't go there and make 2 weeks. They can't even make 1 week, they won't come back. Then they come to sit down here and make more. Joe, we are going to win.
Including me.
Including me.
Yeah,
including you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're going to go for your one be running, coming back.
Are you upset because Mr. So is not here tonight? Why are you upset with me for?
No, I'm not upset with you because I see you in Liberia, in a day, in a night. I can see you.
My people, y'all hold on. Something happened here. Let me put a person on. Oh my goodness! I hope not. I hope somebody's hijack his phone. Go ahead, make it brief so I can bring in the next caller.
Yeah, I just trying to say, Liberian people, we look for our own suffering.
Okay.
We look at where we are. The present situation, the present government says here, one investor never can in Liberia, more investors left the country. People suffering. You're looking for money, over $20 million to go for social soldier. You're looking for money from anybody. They say they can get money from them. They don't care who they get money from. Then you all want to put that person back into power.
Okay.
You all know your life going to be the next year. And they're going to load them.
Okay. Thank you. Let me bring the other. Thank you. Let me. Okay. Thank you. Let me bring the other caller in because you're upset with us. Okay. Next caller. What's your name? Where you're calling from? What's on your mind?
Hey, Mr. So, how you doing? This is Dwalalu calling from Boston, Massachusetts. How you guys doing?
Okay. How you doing?
Yes, not too bad. Let me just make my point. Sometimes when we're talking about Liberia and those of us who have been fortunate to come to this people's country, we tend to forget the kind of desperation we're talking about in the country. So, I just spent the last 3 months in Liberia. This is not a joking matter. Look, let's be serious. President Weah does not want to be president. He said it himself in so many words. And we are joking with the future of this country. And most of our people don't even understand. They call them to go, they will go there just to be able to get something to eat. There are serious problems on the ground. This election is not a joking matter. This is a serious election. If our country is allowed to go back to the leadership of President Weah, this will be something serious happening to this country. Everything is imploding. Everything. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Right, 77. The other interesting caller just left. I don't know why, but I will call them back. Go ahead, sir. Make your point so I can call this other interesting caller here. Hello? 774 number. Are you there? 77438. Are you there? Okay, thank you. Let me call this other caller back. Folks, this is, I hope the person will pick up my call. I hope they will pick up the call. I think it's this caller here. No, that's not it. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, but Mr. To, why are you calling people back?
Hold on. This caller here seems very interesting here. Let me see if this is the caller. Let me see. Okay. Hello, Samson to Liberian Public Radio.
Hello?
Yeah. Go ahead.
How you doing, sir?
Yeah, not bad. Go ahead, make your point.
Mr. Brian, yeah, thank you very much. I'm speaking from Worcester, Massachusetts.
Okay.
Some people will be talking about Liberia, this and that, all that kind of stuff. Liberia is the only political party we have. All the other people who are there, they will go and come. But some of us, our brothers and sisters sitting down in Monrovia or Liberia, when they ridicule people that are in the diaspora. Or as for me, I come to Liberia. I'm going to come to Liberia for 2 months. I don't stay for 1 week, 2 weeks, and I go in the rural area in my village. Then when I'm operating a $250,000 project right now, that is what we call investment. We will not sit down here and be bad mouthing our country for this, for that. It is us, Liberia, that will develop Liberia. If you challenge me, let us meet in your village too. I'm from Bewale in Lower Nimba County, about the border with Arako and Liberia. And you check me up, you will see Bewale International Marketplace, or you will see Badger Investment Group operating in Texas. So this is what we're doing here. Some of us, we don't just sit down here, but in my lifetime, what I've seen Liberia as a businessman throughout my life, I've not seen it before.
Okay.
Number one, rural connectivity. Before I came in this country here, I worked with United Security Insurance Company as far as a manager. I was assigned the southeastern region. I went all over Liberia, and I shed tears when I was working 9 hours, 10 hours in ground crew and team with our development. Now, those places that I passed before working 10 hours, 15 hours, those some of those places are paid. And for the first time in history, I'm coming back to Liberia in November to finish the project. And I will be riding on a pavement from Ganta all the way to my home. Can you imagine that? First time in history.
Okay.
Look, we need to call spade a spade. Right now, it is Joy Weir time in Liberia. Let us give him the chance, let him work.
Okay.
People say investor win away this and that. You fought war for 20 years. You kill people. You open people's stomach. You want to tell me investment will just fall down overnight?
No.
We are doing that because we are citizens of Liberia.
Thank you. Thank you, my
Thank
brother.
you very much, sir.
Thank you. Okay, I'll just make the announcement so that people don't say that they call here and we're not paying attention. There was a name that appeared here, Kiva San. If you're still there, if you're interested to engage her, give us a call here and we'll take your call. There were so many people online, and when you came, if that is Kiva San for sure, when you came, there was other people ahead of you. Those people are going to have to be taken care of before we jump to you. So we're not intentionally ignoring your call. But anyway, Mr. George, thank you, Mr. George, Mr. Malley, thank you guys very much. Let's go ahead and wrap it up so that we can take a leave. We'll be back here again tomorrow for sure. So let me take the number down. Oops, let me take the number down so that we'll stop the call. Okay. All right. Kia Sanda, anytime you call, we'll pick it up as long as we're on air. Okay. Go ahead, Mr. Malik. Go ahead and give us a closing, please. If you want to make remarks on all of the colors and things that you jog down, that will be fine.
Yes. In my closing, what I want to say here is that the document that you just read is a very sensitive document from George Weir, and no matter what happens, somebody will have to win this election. Like the last caller just said, the election is very, very critical to our well-being. But I think the statement by that caller that if somebody doesn't win, there will be war. I think we need to disabuse these type of utterances because these are not good utterances. So for us on this platform, we are prepared to accept George Weir as president in place of a civil war. Because the consequences of civil war have a far-reaching effect on the human population as compared to winning the presidency. So if I'll be between accepting George Weir as a president and civil war, I will select George Weir and forget about the civil war because we know what we went through. It's true that what is going on, like what the last quarter said, This election is very critical. It's also consequential.
Let me take this. I believe that's Key Hassan. Is it? Good evening. Is it Key Hassan?
Yes. How are you, my brother?
Okay. Thanks for calling. We were not trying to ignore your call, but we have other folks out here, and that's why I'd make that announcement. I didn't want to call your name, but I had to make that announcement so you would know nobody ignoring your call as well. But go ahead, my brother. Go ahead and make your point. We're already closing here, but anyhow, we'll give you opportunity.
I understand. I understand. I realize people ahead of me, so I didn't want to cut.
But wait. Cap.
Hold on, Mr. George. Please go ahead, Kev.
Okay. My condolences to Mr. So.
Thank you.
I just sent him a text. I just sent him a message.
Thank you.
I just want to say that. So a couple of things I just want to correct.
Yeah.
They have a saying in nursing, especially giving medication, you get what they call a wanted effect and unwanted effects. For example, if you're giving a Tylenol, your wanted effect should be the headache is gone and you feel good. Unwanted effect, you give a Tylenol, then you get a rash or something, and you don't need that. Let me put that in especially the opposition. You keep saying the same thing, and the result is different. So in that case, the opposition, what they're doing is they're receiving unwanted effect. Reason why you're receiving the unwanted effect is because, for example, you show all the dirt in the country, you show this, you show that. Then, and a 40-year-old man, 30-year-old man who live in that country know that they saw that same place before. They saw it in old time. They saw it in Tower time. And the same thing. They know we have an issue. They know when government clean it, our same people will go back and mess it up. If you point those things, what will happen is the people are not going to take it seriously because they'll say, no, this is not your we are fault. If you say the people suffering in the country, you're telling a 50-year-old man that we are making suffer after we are been there for 5 years, 5 and some more months, and he's not going to take you serious because the message of the opposition is coming up with certain things and the people will look at it. So when you turn around and you see the people flooding the streets all over, then you ask yourself, why are the people going out? But then the young people will say, look, my mother not paying WIC fee. My mother was paying it under and the last government, under Joe Bucker government, were catching hell. But now we're not paying it. So if you tell that person that Jawia is bad, they're not going to listen to you.
So, Key, let me then push back on this. Yeah, not necessarily trying to debate you, but I just want to push back on it. Are you suggesting here tonight that on this president, with all situation that is facing our country, that this president is doing an excellent job?
The 5 years that this president
or the time frame is not enough for the president to give all of his best. Is that what is your argument?
Let me tell you, the 5 years for this president, right? What the president have done within this 5 years, you can actually see where this country going. You can actually see that the country moving. You know, the plane is not at the rightful attitude, but it moving forward. The glass is not half empty.
Okay, so you said you use a word here. You said it's not a rightful attitude. What are you saying? Rightful attitude in terms of what?
for example, right? If you're in a plane and the plane is flying, you're gonna be going up, up, up. You know, you're going up, and you're gonna reach the right and altitude, the level.
Right.
Let's say 300,000 feet or 100,000. You up there. So for the plane to settle and start going. So what
Keith,
Liberia
I
is
said, if
right
you go
now,
300,000 feet, you're not coming back down.
I know I'm
That's 35,000.
If you go 300,
300,000.
if you're in a plane, for some reason you're sedition, you're like the numbers, but you're not giving us the correct number. But anyway, that's a different one. But go ahead, What's your point?
Yeah, the point is that the plane knows it's not diving down.
Right.
Crash. It's not going down. It's heading for the right place.
So your argument is the plane is at a correct attitude, is on autopilot, and therefore you want extra time to get this plane to land perfectly. Is that what you're trying to say?
Exactly.
So what would be your response? What would be your response to those who are saying that yes, you are a good pilot, but the turbulence that we're going through right now, you are not capable of handling this plane going through this short turbulence. So we want to have someone else to come and take us to our destination. What would be your response to that?
Well, Mr. To, you were in Liberia. I'm sure you have some tumbling up the air, right?
Yes, and which very frightening for me.
Right. Did the plane stop up the air and say, let's change the pilot? That would be a disaster, right? The answer is no.
All right, I walk into that one. That's fine. I gave you that, Kate. I shouldn't have followed you with your airplane analogy. I think I walk into it. So, but anyway, thank you, Keith. Let's do it.
Let me just close up. I'll find a time to come on your show. But I just want to say that when the opposition going with the old tactics, where you going with our tactics, we grew up with hearing, oh, Grady Allison, they killed somebody, that Grady Allison fault, that this fault. Those things are strange in our ears. You understand?
Right.
So you don't come and tell the people, oh, that this person killed this, oh, the person killed this. You start coming with all this without being factual, without giving no evidence. So the people tired hearing that same old thing. They are not arguing the substance. They are not going into the real argument. They come in with story. Like I listened to one woman on one show. She said, I was walking on the street in Liberia and the people suffering, people dying. I saw 5 dead bodies on the streets.
Okay.
I'm like, when you said that, you're throwing the people off. They're not listening to you because they know you're lying.
Okay. Kev, Thank you. Hold on, Mr. Judge. We're very much late behind here, so I will hope that you will find time to join us. But I think we would like to engage you positively with all the conversation we'd like to have. If you can find time sometime to join us, we'll appreciate it. But tonight, but we just took your call, just make sure that we're all in this business together to share information, and I really appreciate you coming up.
I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. All right, Mr. George, Mr. George, go ahead, close it. Let me call my son here who's been calling me frantically. I don't know what's going on, but let me give him a call. So go ahead, Mr.
Might go ahead because.
Marty, please go ahead.
Yes. First of all, I hope Kev Asa will come by one of these days, but I completely disagree with his two analogies, the plane issue and the nursing issue. Totally disagree. Probably the time when he found time to come around the dining room table, we address that. But let me say this. The political, economic, material beneficiaries of the CDC will definitely have a blind eye on the other side of the political spectrum in Liberia. None of them will tell you who is suffering. But to be frank with you, let's go to some of the little thing that is even frustrating me here now. The purpose of the presidency is to make the difference and come up with something different. That is one of the cardinal principles of the presidency. A little difference. I don't know what difference the CDC government has already made. But let's go to the issue of some age-old thing that have been happening in Liberia. Like for instance, the issue of trash.
Mali, we're way past time. So
No. I'm coming now. Let me learn.
Yeah, we're way past time. My son is calling, Mr. So is not here to help me.
Okay.
And I don't want to leave you guys. We'll be back here tomorrow, Mali.
Okay.
So just make it brief for me. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm very sorry. We're way past time.
Yes.
Try and make it brief.
So the question is, it goes to Kev Hassan. I hope you answer it. That country is littered with trash. International visitor camp, trash is everywhere around that country there. What is the government new idea to keep that country clean? I have not seen it. Maybe Kev have seen it. He can come the next time to really tell me. That country is really dirty. And every day the government official, then they pass through the trash all over the town. That town is smelling. So the CDC government don't have new idea about trash in Liberia. Don't get me wrong. The trash has been around for a long time. But what is the government doing to address it now?
Thank you, Mali. I think it'll be the opening for you tomorrow, Mr. George. Go ahead. Can you give me one?
I just want to say thank you, and Kev, my brother, will be invited on this platform. I don't know why
I just didn't want you to. We don't have
Kev, you are welcome at any time. Just join us. Don't call
I just didn't want you to engage in right away like that. We'll invite you. I hope you will join us because I know you are getting ready to go to town on carrier tonight, and we didn't have enough time.
No, Kev's my brother. I like him, Kev's my brother, but I just say he's more calm so we can have a conversation.
Yeah.
But thank you. Thank you, and say thank you to the audience. That's all.
Thank you, Mr. I hope you're not upset with me, though.
No, why should I be upset? I'm just saying that with time, I'm saying all I want is to take care of you. You are welcome. We are welcome. Everything. Don't be going too busy. Don't have a conversation. That's all.
Okay, thank you, Mr. George. Mr. Mali, thank you as well. Folks, we're way out of time. Those of us that do these things, we got kids just like many of you. And so I have to, I'm bringing Mr. George back. I have to run and to pick up my boy here. So many of you that call here tonight, even though I'm late taking my boy up, but I still have to show respect to you as well, the audience. Many of you that call here tonight, you're very much concerned about our country. Whether you agree with one another is not the issue. The fact here is you want this country to move forward. So with your mindset, with that kinds of mindset that you have, and you're going from platform to platform to offer your suggestion, offer your views, and those are important elements that a successful country must have. And I'm very glad that we have that in you. I think the good days of Liberia is way ahead of us because all of us are willing to engage. Whether we agree or not, it's not the issue. The fact that we have the ability to engage positively, that's something good. I want to thank all of you again tonight for joining us. It's been a wonderful Tuesday afternoon. We'll be back here again tomorrow, and where we will be able to discuss tomorrow. We'll have a line open very quickly, very early in the game, because I think it's better to engage you guys. And one last thing I want to say here. I'm not trying to justify or trying to take apologetic tone here. Far from it. Whatever view that I express here tonight, I believe in them. But what I want you to take out of this view, my view as well, is that these things have been stated, not necessarily for hate. I'm saying these things because I do not see a good policy that would lift that country from the good man who happened to be the president of the Republic of Liberia. It's a two different things. And I have the ability to compartmentalize the fact that I admire and love him. It's not the same. I'm able to separate that from him being the president to carry out certain policy, which I don't believe he and his group are doing right now. And that's why I'm saying that he must be replaced, not as an individual. Quite different. Two things, two different things. I want to make that clear. Let's go ahead and say good night to all of you. It's been a wonderful, wonderful show. Samson Toll is here again this evening. The liberal progressive. Thank you very much, and good night, folks.